So basically, conditional transfers is a type of incentives. So when governments want to change the behavior of people in the way they manage their natural capital and their ecosystems, they have a set of different instruments they can use. They can use taxes, they can use regulations, they can use positive incentives. And conditional transfers is one of these ones. So the idea is that I'll give you something, and in return, you do something for me. So conditional transfers are used a lot in social programs, for example, even education, social protection. And the idea is that payment for ecosystem services belongs to this family of transfers. So it is a transfer from the beneficiaries of these ecosystem services. In the case of China and in many other countries, the government acts on behalf of society to recognize and to transfer back these resources to the people who manage the ecosystems. So that's the idea of payment for environmental services or payments for ecosystem services. And it's conditional because we are going to give you that incentive if you perform certain activities. It is very attractive because of that conditionality. It increases the chances, really, of obtaining environmental outcomes, positive environmental outcomes. It's very difficult, and we've talked a lot today on the difficulties of actually measuring this. Is the water quality going to really improve because we are working more with the pig farms, or because we're being better able at treating non-point source pollution in agricultural farms? So sometimes we need to change the behaviors to maximize those chances that these outcomes are going to take place. Sometimes, especially when you are dealing with very poor and vulnerable groups, introducing conditions can be very difficult because people may not have the ability, the technical capacity first to implement the changes, or they may not have the financial resources that you need to pay for these changes. You're going to need to stop doing what you're doing. We heard today about these marine and oceans eco-compensation. So it may very likely include prohibitions to go and fish during certain times. So what happens to people when they can't go and fish? What happens to artisanal coastal communities are already very poor, extremely poor in some places, like in Bangladesh? They have communities that are they're required to stop fishing to increase the chances of the stock replenishing. And there is very good ecological outcomes, but the people, especially the very poor people, can suffer as a consequence of that. So sometimes introducing these conditions can be difficult. So you can also have other type of incentives which are unconditional. And they are used a lot with very poor people, especially. And it's a good idea to always consider this set of different interventions. So that's where PES fits in, and in terms of conditional transfers.